So after multiple box office failures throughout all of 2023, it has not been a good track record for Disney, let alone Bob Iger with his leadership skills. We all saw what happened with the Marvels and Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, let alone when you're focusing on what Walt Disney Animation Studios put out just recently that also failed at the box office, such as Wish. It's not looking good for 2024 and beyond for Bob Iger. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So, Deadpool 3, we all know that this is the one movie that Disney is banking on. They are placing all bets on this thing to save the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there's already creative differences arising between writers Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick, and yes, even Ryan Reynolds, going up against the Disney higher-ups / heads, and what they want to do with the third act of the actual film, and cutbacks on marketing and budgets, and a lot more other pieces of drama actually spilling into the production of this movie. Now, one thing about Ryan Reynolds is that we know that this movie, to him at least, is his baby. This is something that he has been trying to get made for years now, let alone Deadpool in general. You know, we know that he's trying to wrap this up to become a proper trilogy, so to speak, before they move on. And we know that also Disney is always going to actually tarnish something one way or the other, whatever they get their hands on, and it's already beginning to show. However, on top of all of this, what's interesting about Ryan Reynolds and his stance throughout all of the drama that's been going on back and forth for the third act of Deadpool 3, with Ryan Reynolds still dealing with much drama related to the third film and the Disney higher-ups, one major development has to do with how Ryan recently managed to push the ultimatum of all ultimatums against Disney that is beginning to cause them to cave. As it turns out, in the recent update for this drama, Ryan recently informed Disney that he is now officially going to be taking a stand back on marketing and promoting Deadpool 3. Now, as it turns out, Ryan is already walking away from promoting Deadpool 3 in 2024 for specific programs / shows like Good Morning America, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and even The View, all of which are ABC-run programs and hence owned by Disney. Now, part of Ryan's deal with Disney for Deadpool 3 was to run a promotion strategy to go on all these shows around June of 2024 to early July. This deal was recently, of course, altered and went under a massive revision after the release date of the film was moved, as Ryan was marked in to do these shows originally in April of 2024 to promote Deadpool 3 for its May release at that time. However, now, since creative differences have been getting worse between Iger and the writers of the film, like Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese, including Reynolds, Ryan already informed Disney that he is now no longer willing to interact with those like Joy Behar and Jimmy Kimmel to promote the film in a specific strategy that Ryan didn't agree with, really. Ryan's plan with these programs originally was that he wanted to add in comedy bits and jokes toward Disney taking over Fox and Deadpool as a part of comedy relief for the Jimmy Kimmel Live show and those other programs mentioned. However, Disney wants, of course, nothing to do with that, and they weren't having it with this marketing approach, specifically, of course, by Ryan, and they informed Reynolds that no jokes or comedy relief are to be presented at least on their ABC-run programs. Especially for The View in particular, in which Ryan was scheduled to have a one-on-one interview with a great, of course, segment of the show to get the film out there in the public eye. Now, with Ryan Reynolds now backing away from the marketing approach, it's set to take a massive hit on exposure for Disney fans and loyals that could continue to follow whatever Disney puts out. Bob Iger was reportedly furious over Ryan's decision to not only promote the film on ABC programs as an ultimatum that showed the Disney heads what he is willing to do in order to challenge Disney to allow him to provide comedy relief about Disney in his interviews. Now, let me just stop here quick, guys, before I get to the big conclusion about all of this. Now, look, we know that Ryan Reynolds is essentially, I guess you could say, a comedian, right? He's in a lot of comedy-driven movies, and that's his thing. That's what he's known for the most part. I mean, he's been in a handful of action films, yes, but traditionally, Ryan is known for his comedy movies. I mean, one of the big ones is Van Wilder. But when you look at stuff like this, the fact that Disney is suppressing his comedy relief in interviews that was supposedly, going to be involved with Jimmy Kimmel Live, with The View, and also with Good Morning America, which, by the way, all programs to me are just absolutely awful, and good on Ryan for walking away from those programs. But I think at the end of the day as well, this just goes to show you that Ryan is willing to do whatever he has to do to get through Disney's head to pretty much market the movie the way he wants to get it out to the general public properly. This is basically Disney capping Ryan Reynolds from being his true self of how he promotes films. We know that he's very much familiar with production companies or studios that allow him to be, very comedy driven, right? Very much funny, either on stage or in a, round table or anything like that. That's how he is. That's how he likes to promote his films or whatever have you, to kind of be, that comedy of relief. And Disney doesn't want any of that, let alone any kind of jokes being made about Disney taking over Fox and taking over the Deadpool brand. So it's really, very much apparent at this point that IGER and the board have come to the realization that Disney is in such a damaged state that they cannot even afford any kind of jokes, especially by their main lead in Deadpool 3. Moving on. Now, this is something that is also creating a domino effect on their other programs that Disney does not own, that they have mapped out for Ryan Reynolds to go on the marketing of the film and get it out there. As of now, Hugh Jackman is still scheduled and planned to market this movie on those ABC programs and is following all of Disney's orders so far. The creatives, however, not so much, and as a way to send them a message. So again, look, Hugh Jackman, I don't know if he really knew what he was getting involved with. I'm not sure if he's all up to date on what Disney does to their franchises out there, like Star Wars or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or just Disney remakes in general. But I think Hugh Jackman generally is a very compassionate person. He very much is passionate with the projects that he gets involved in for the most part, and he really likes the art of acting. Alright, that's pretty much what Hugh Jackman's all about. He's been very much vivid about that, very much apparent about that, about staying true to the art. And I think once you have all this DEI nonsense getting thrown into the third act of Deadpool, it's going to really, limit his overall performance as Wolverine. It's very possible it could go in that direction as well. But this act against Ryan Reynolds was absolutely terrible, and I'm glad that he took a stance and really shot things down over at Disney, and it's really putting them in a marketing cap right now as far as how they're going to be able to reach people through the creatives to the general public. So anyway, I would really love to hear what you all have to say about this ongoing situation between Reynolds, the higher-ups over at Disney in general, and more. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.